What is up, guys? We are back, and today we have a dogfight between the two titans, the new Bose Soundsport Wireless and the Jaybird Freedoms. This is going to be a battle to the death. Who do you think won? Pause the video, put who you think won down in the comments below. Tell me if you're right. Now let's begin. Alright, now I've done an extensive test on these for the past 2 weeks. I've taken both to the gym. I put one into my pocket, listened to one, taken one off, put another one back on, and at the gym. I mean, people probably thought I looked crazy, but you know, I wanted to do kind of like a comprehensive comparison for you guys, so you guys can make the best decision because you know it's a lot of money to spend, and you know, we're not all ballers. We can't have both. I mean, that's just how it goes. So I want you guys to get the best bang for your buck. All right. Now let's start off with the comfort. Now each one isn't perfect, but I'm gonna have to give this round to the Bose. The comfort on these is just amazing. These sit on the outside. Part of this is that they sit on the outside of your ear, right? They don't go into your ear canal. So they sit on outside of your ear, and they give just enough seal to give good bass. All right, so you get a really good bass response with these. It's very booming, right? And we'll get to that later in the sound comparison. But what I noticed is with the Jaybirds, and I use the over ear because these, you see how small they are? So you would think that these wouldn't hurt your ears, but after a while my ears were getting fatigued, which means like I had to like take them out for a little bit, or you know, I had to readjust them multiple times. So I go with this style. I go over the ear, right? And this is the style that I found to be best with these, with the comply tips. You don't have to use the wings or anything, but this is where the problem comes in. It has a different style. These go into your ear canal, right? And you roll it, and then it expands into your ear. So you're gonna be getting more isolation with these, but there's gonna be less comfort. So if comfort isn't an issue, you don't care really, then go with these. But what I found is, here's a point. What I found is when you have these in your ear, right, for sports, let's say you have them punched into your ear, what happens when we work out? We start, right? And you know, you can, when you do that and your jaw's moving up and down, it affects your ear canal, right? And it begins to shimmy this out of your ear. So over time, these became loose. So that's not good if you're cycling, or if you're going up and down, and you're going like that, and you're gonna have to readjust them, push them back in constantly. And that's what I found. I constantly had to push these back in, and it was a pain. You know, it really took away from my workout. I like, you know, in the beginning of the workout, you know, you're trying to get adjusted. That's fine when you have headphones. But after a while, like, you just want to work out. You just want to, like, be in the zone. You want to, you know, be doing burpees. You want to be jumping up, doing planks and all this. And, you know, and when you're doing all that, and when you're running, bouncing up and down, and you're like that, these are going to start to come out. I don't care what anybody says. Like, if they're going to have to reposition these no matter what. I'm telling you, you cannot go through a whole workout without readjusting these. It's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not happening. And it sucks because I want to like these so much. The sound is good. Alright? Now that round, the comfort goes to the Bose. For sure. Now, those stay here tips, they are just, it's like a gel material, and it just sits into your ear. And here's another tip. When you get these, push them. Don't just sit them outside your ear. Kind of push them in a little bit, and that'll give you a seal. Alright? And you're going to get a lot more bass, and you're going to get a lot more isolation. Before, when I first got them, I was kind of like sitting them there, and they would kind of got a lot of ambient noise from the outside world, and it wasn't as pleasurable as an experience, for me. So when I did that, it made a huge difference. So do that. If you have the Bose, do that. Try it. Just push it a little bit more towards the front of your face, if that makes sense. All right. Now let's talk about the sound. Now, like I was saying, next up, this next category, I'm going to tell you the benefits of both, and you can kind of choose which one you like best. Now, these have more of a flat sounding, a more accurate sounding sound to them. They're not very, the highs aren't very high, the lows aren't very low, the mids aren't really, you know, high or low. You know, it's flat. It's flat. You know what I mean? And it's a flat sounding headphone, and they kind of combated that by putting in the app, the My Sound app, where you can change your EQ and change the firmware, so you can go to any program and it'll change. But I'm going to tell you why this is kind of a pain, why this kind of backfires. It's because when you do that, let's say I change it to my EDM setting, right? And then I go and some rock or rap comes on. Now I have to go and stop my workout, go into the app and change it to that other setting that's good for that genre. All right? Now that takes time and that takes effort, and it takes a little bit for the software to actually change the EQ on the headphones. All right? So when it's just taking time out of your workout. All right? So not only with these are you readjusting, you have to readjust the EQ, and we'll get to the rest later. But I'm just going to say that's two things with this. Now with these, I'll say these have really nice bass. The best way I can explain it is it's booming. The bass on these is booming. It like not vibrates so much that, you know, if you vibrate and you have an in-ear, it's gonna like make you feel weird. These have a very like booming, loud, full sounding bass when you kind of push them in, like I said. And I really enjoyed these. When I was, like I said, I was wearing these back to back in the gym. So I'll wear these, now I'll wear these, listening half the song, rest of the half with these. And what I found is the bass on these is better, and the loudness, even with the EQ, if I turn the bass all the way up on the EQ, it still cannot compete with this. And even then, it kind of distorts it. Now, with these, the soundstage, so you can hear, have soundstage, so you can hear in front of you and back of you, in the middle, right? These have a little less soundstage, but you can hear all the instruments, you can hear everything. But this one is just, it's really nice. Like if you're going to be movie watching, or you enjoy like classical music, this one might be for you. But this one, Bose says they have like an active EQ in it, so like it adjusts to the music. So, you know, I've been listening to like Frank Sinatra, Drake, you know, anything, Tiesto. I listen to it all. So, and this changed with each genre that I listened to. Now, that's one less thing I have to worry about. One less thing that I have to worry about in the gym. Whereas this one, I have to change the EQ. You know, like it's more work. You know, sometimes you just want to set it and forget it. You know that infomercial? Set it and forget it! You just want to set these in your ear and you want to forget it. Alright? So, a sound, I prefer these. So if you like bass, if you like nice and full sounding rich, they're very clear. Right? These are clear, but when you start messing with the EQ, you start it starts getting a little distorted. I start hearing a little hissing noise, so it kind of distorts. But I will say, when you do use the silicone tips, you do get better bass response. The problem is the silicone tips do not stay in your ear, and they're hard to get a seal. I'll tell you that right now. Now, next up, we're going to talk about battery life. How can we forget battery life? Now, let me start by saying that battery life is important. So what I will say is, today, I started off at 100% at the gym. I left 70%. When I was wearing these, I would leave the gym and it would be at 20 to 30%, I would say. Alright, now it has the charging clip. Alright, it has the charging clip, but I will say that even though it has a charging clip, it gets so heavy. These already, I'm telling you, these already want to move out of your ear. And I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt because this is pretty light. The remote is pretty light. But after a while, after bouncing up and down, you know, when you're cycling and you're going side to side, you know, you can already see the remote is swaying, right? So this is just going to keep on till it wedges out of your ear. And I constantly felt like I had to readjust or reposition them, you know, and I felt like at any moment they would just pop out, you know, judging by the times and whatever. And I listen to them on loud, so usually when companies say, oh, 8 hours of battery life, once you start getting higher in volume or you have more bass or whatever, that number decreases. Not so the case with these. I feel like it almost increased. So great job, Bose. I really like that. And on these, you know, the charging clip just, it's not practical. And I almost lost the charging clip already. And I was freaking out. I was looking all over my bag. I was looking all over my car. And I was just thinking, like, if I lost this, no more music. No more. What would I do? Email them and, like, have to pay more for a proprietary charging clip? I don't think so. So I don't want to day after day have to worry about, where's my charging clip? Are these charged all the way, because they can't last in the gym? It takes me 80% in the gym for 2 hours. Do I want to keep every day looking around for my charging clip? Like making sure that that's charged, making sure that these are charged in time for my workout. Now, I'm not saying that it's not a problem to have 4-hour battery life, but what I'm saying is, at least let me charge this straight up. I don't want to have to deal with the clip. They should have just had a charging port on this as well. That would have just solved. I think that's a thing that a lot of people had a problem with, and I can see why. I have a problem with it, and I almost lost the charging clips. So, which one do you guys think I kept? Drum roll, please. I kept the Bose. And I am happy with these. I am very, very happy. Like I said, at first I almost wanted to give these away because the isolation, but honestly, they isolate just as much as these with the compli tips in the gym, in a loud gym. And I really found I kept coming back to the bass, and I kept missing the bass when I was wearing the Jaybirds. I was missing the bass from these, and it just kept drawing me back. So I'm gonna be keeping the Bose, and I will be seeing the Jaybirds back. I hope this has helped you guys. Thank you guys for all the positivity in my last videos, and I hope that you guys will be able to make a very informed decision because of this. So thanks for watching. This has been BT. I'll see you guys later.